Hey there guys and girls, welcome back to episode 2 of my stretching and mobilization routine. So today we have the second part, which we're going to be working on. So again, if you guys haven't already checked out the first video, please be sure to go back and check that out. Leave it a thumbs up and let me know what you thought in the comment section below. But today we're going to go through our opposing muscle groups today. So this is really handy for anyone before you come into your workout. So after you've done a short, maybe 5-10 minute warm-up, full body, to come in and work through the routine that you're going to see here today, which is really going to help you to A, be more mobile in lots of your exercises, and B, it's going to prevent and hopefully ward off lots of injuries, strains and little niggles for many years to come. This is going to keep you able to keep on training in the gym and seeing some great results. So please do try these yourself. But without further ado, let's hop into episode 2 of the series. What's going on, guys and girls? So we are going to be using this foam roller at the beginning of each of our stretch and mobilization sequences, about 5 to 10 minutes beforehand, to try and help loosen us up and warm us up a little bit. It has been shown by several studies that foam rolling can help you to increase your mobility by up to 10% by just doing this for 5 to 10 minutes before you work out. Now, it's not necessarily going to make you stronger, but it will potentially help you to ward off some injuries, giving you that extra little bit of mobility. Is also going to help you with things like your squats and your deadlifts. And more times than not, you will find that actually by having just a little bit more mobility, it actually makes those lifts just that little bit safer. So let's get stuck into our upper body.
So starting off with the upper back here, really just trying to focus from the bottom of the neck down to about halfway down the spine, just lightly foam rolling, taking the arms overhead to really give the emphasis through the medial portion of the back. From there, I then move on to emphasizing one scapula at a time. You see I'm now just rolled onto one side, really just trying to trace the medial aspect of that scapula up and down to stimulate it. Then I go into some very light lower back work, not heavy, take a lot of pressure off of this and just gently glide over it. Then I just lean to one side a little bit more and try to emphasize that quadratus lumborum. Then flipping onto my front, I just get a little bit of movement through the front of the pectoral muscle there, especially that crossover into the anterior deltoid AC part of the shoulder. It does get very tender around those areas.
Okay, so now we've got our foam rolling, we're now going to get into our mobilization.
So starting off here with a little bit of wrist mobility, just basically rotating my arms around, really just gently starting to get my wrists used to having some load put on them, and also stretching and mobilizing the forearm as well. We also get some rotation through that shoulder joint too, all very light, so a fantastic way to start up your mobilization routine. From there, we're then going to go across and basically rock backwards and forwards just to really try and get the emphasis through the stretch of that forearm. Then going into a bit of scapular stabilization work, just dropping my body, allowing my scapula to push together, and then actively really trying to press and spread the scapula apart and push my upper back towards the ceiling. Now just getting a little bit of loading going through into the shoulders here. I'm pushing my chest back towards my toes, and what I'm really trying to do is stretch out my lats, open out the distance overhead. So if I'm doing any overhead presses, this is a must. And also just getting the wrists, elbows and shoulders used to a bit of loading. Then going into a bit of spine extension here, just letting my hips push forward and drop forward, really trying to emphasize the stretch through my abdomen, coming off of that into a nice little relaxing lat stretches there just to take a little bit of the tension off. And I'm just going to repeat back and forth through this a few more times until I feel like my spine's a little bit more warmed up. From there, I'm then just going to hop across now into a little bit of pec mobility work. So just literally placing my hand flat on the floor, trying to keep my shoulder pushed into the ground, and then just using the other hands to aid the rotation through the spine and just get a little bit of tension going through that shoulder. Then from there, the next time I'll go onto the other hand, I'll take it slightly higher up, so closer towards a 45-degree angle now to really emphasize the stretch through the pec. And I'm going to do this again on the other side, and then when I go back onto my first side, I'm going to go pretty much directly at a diagonal to get the most intense stretch. But obviously building up to this nice and slowly and not rushing into this one, because again, that shoulder joint can be very tender at times. So please do take care with this one. But without further ado, we're now going to hop across into the cat-cow. So again, just getting a little bit more extension through the spine now. You'll now see that I'm getting a nice arch through my lower back to match my scapula pushing together. So very similar to the scap stabilization, but with more spinal movement here. And then just to finish off, I'm going to do some active shoulder mobility work, so a resistance band tied around the hands, just to get the shoulders used to, again, a little bit more loading, and then a little bit more stretching as well. We can get a really nice range of motion going through here, and you can also perform this standing up, or even with a broomstick or a dowel instead of your resistance band for something a bit harder.
There you have it, guys and girls. That is our upper body full stretch, mobilization, and warm-up done. I hope you guys and girls enjoyed this. If you did, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up, and if you aren't already, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications so you know the next time I am posting. I hope you guys and girls can take a lot away from what you've learned here today and actually start to implement that routine into your training. If you do, I would love to hear how you guys and girls have found it and how it has impacted your training and your progress. Apart from that, guys and girls, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, love each other, and I will see you on the next one.